Everybody, Father Mark here. First, on behalf of Father Don and myself, we want to thank you, the altar servers, for serving at Mass for us. Whether you're a senior server and you've been at this for a long time, or you're an altar server that just started off, we want to thank you for your dedication of serving at Our Lady of Mercy at the Holy Sacrifice of the Mass. So what's the purpose of this video? Well, Father Don, myself, and the leadership team here at Our Lady of Mercy are really focusing on trying to put our efforts in drawing a sense of reverence at the Mass and a sense of increasing the mystery at Mass. And one of the main ways that we feel we can accomplish this is through you, the altar servers, of how you act in the sanctuary, okay? So we're going to be really intentional here moving forward with how we act up in the sanctuary as altar servers. You'll notice in this video here, after I'm done speaking right now, the altar servers are holding their hands like this. So we're going to begin to hold our hands always like this when we're in the sanctuary. Other thing you'll notice is as they walk, when we walk, we want to have an intentionality with how we walk. And you'll see that they turn very much on a 90-degree turn, and they're always walking together. They're standing together. You'll be sitting together. And this will take some time to get used to, but we have some master of ceremonies that a couple of our senior servers took on this role for us, so we're very thankful for them, as well as some of our deacons in formation. So all of this is not just to do it to make more changes, no, but it's to do it to invoke a sense of deeper mystery and reverence, and hopefully for people to fall deeper in love with Jesus and the beauty of the sacrifice of the Mass. And you all, altar servers and senior servers, have a big part in us accomplishing this goal. So I want to thank you for putting up with these changes that we're making again, but we feel these tweaks are really important for us accomplishing our goals here at Our Lady of Mercy. So I hope you enjoy this little tutorial, and you'll be hearing me in a little bit when this video begins. Okay, God bless. All right, so you can see that you're lined up right here. We're actually going to begin lining up outside of the church, but we'll begin walking in. You notice the entrance procession is going to look different. There's more space in between you guys, about 2 pews length. So the MC here, you'll notice he genuflects because he's not carrying anything. He genuflects to the tabernacle. You guys are always pretty much going to be carrying things. So, of course, you don't genuflect. You just can do a slight bow of the head, just like this. And then you notice the way we're going to be just going straight up. And you'll also notice more of walking on right angles. Okay, so it just makes things a lot more neat and less sloppy and more reverent when there's turning on right angles and not walking diagonally. So you see Brendan there turn. Here's Brandon turning more of on right angle. Michael as well. Turning on a right angle. Things, again, a lot more reverent, less sloppy. You guys are back there together, putting things away. And then you'll come out together. Brendan, of course, is the senior server, so as he crosses through the altar, he bows to the altar. Of course, we'll want to be singing. If you know the words, or Brandon here doesn't know the words, he opens his hymnal and he begins to sing. If you're singing without the book, you just keep your hands folded. Here, of course, is the opening prayer. This is kind of easy peasy. Of course, we know the senior server brings the missal as the Gloria is finishing. Usually on the word Father, the Father kind of gives away the end of the Gloria. So when you hear the word Father at the end of the conclusion of the prayer of the Gloria, you come on out. And that's the opening prayer. But what I did want to call to attention here is you notice that I just sat down, the priest. The whole congregation sits down, but you notice the 3 servers over there do not sit down. They're going to wait and all sit down together. So wait until the senior server gets back. And then once he gets back, everyone sits down together. Again, a lot more neat and clean. Okay, so here's the gospel procession. Everyone stands up together. So same as always while the second reading begins, the servers go back. And so there's nothing different about this. This is the same as it's always been. we're not worrying too much about right angles here to get to this point because it will get a little confusing. So all this is really the same. When the deacon raises up the book of the gospel, or the priest, if there is no deacon, then you turn, or I mean, you begin. And of course, the MC again will be leading this. This is kind of the same as always, easy peasy stuff. Right when the priest or deacon proclaims the gospel, when he says the gospel according to Luke, and he signs the book, at that point, you guys turn together, just as always. Nothing different there. After the gospel is proclaimed, you guys go ahead and, I'm not sure what they're waiting for. Go, go, go. There they go. And they go ahead and put their candles back. But again, what we want to pay attention to here is them doing things together. That is, now they're going to come out and sit down together. The MC may or not be here at this point. Come down together, turn together, and sit down. Again, a lot more clean, a lot more reverent. All right, setting the altar here. This is going to look a lot different. It's going to be, we're going to be a lot more intentional here with what we do. The senior server and altar server grabs both the chalice and the missal, and they walk together, and they meet in the middle. You can see they turn at the same time. Slowly walk to the altar, placing the missal and the chalice on the altar. They'll take one step back together, bow together, and then they'll turn inward. Okay, turn inward, and then head back to their seat, sit down together, and this time the deacon, of course, will be preparing the altar. Okay, at this point, as when the priest gets up to go down, you see the two servers, the senior server and one of the servers comes down with the priest. The deacon will be here too. I just didn't have a deacon, so you don't see a deacon. There's Phyllis. Everyone say hi to Phyllis. Receive the gifts. The priest will always give the wine cruet to the senior, or to the altar server on the right, and the other things to the senior server. You notice when those guys go down, the other server goes and gets the water, okay? And he comes walking on right angles and turns and waits right there, okay? He's waiting right there, okay? And again, like I said, the server on the right, the priest will always give the wine cruet to the server on the right. And the server on the right there with the water cruet will turn, and right next, the other guy with the water's already there. All right, the other server places the ciboria to the priest around the altar. And this is where, of course, you'll see the priest or the deacon, if the deacon's there, will be putting the wine and the water. They wait together. They do everything together. So there's no uncertainty. They come, as soon as they're finished with both, they turn together. Again, you notice kind of turning on the right angles. Okay? And then as soon as they get back, one with the water cruet and the bowl, and the other one has the hands folded with the towel over it. And they come again. Notice the right angles again, and turning at the same time. Okay, priest will be waiting there. Dry his hands, place the towel back in the surface again. Now, watch, turn at the same time. They walk together, turning on right angles, and going back. This is a lot more clean, a lot more reverent, and that's what we're going for. Okay, so real quick, I want to talk about how to hold things. If you're holding things with one hand, you can see one hand goes over the chest, and then when it's taken, you fold your hands again. When you take it, there you go, hand over the chest. What we don't want to do is be doing one of these things. Okay, what's going on? I'm tired. I shouldn't have got out of bed this morning. What's going on? Did someone just make some noise over there? No? Okay. And then you're kind of just walking back, holding. I do see this, guys. I kid you not. This is things I see, so we don't want to do this. Okay, something new is going to be for the Eucharistic prayer. The MC is going to lead the two altar servers with their candles to the front. Okay, so this is when the song is being sung. You don't have to worry about this because the MC will help out of when to do this. But notice, again, the right angles. The first server is going to go around the MC, and everyone is singing at this point the Holy, Holy, Holy. As soon as the Holy, Holy, Holy is done singing, everyone else kneels, and when everyone kneels, this is when you guys kneel. Okay, and you can place your, fix your alb if you want, like Michael's doing, so that when you stand up, you don't trip over it. And then for the entire Eucharistic prayer, you're kneeling there, right? Worshiping, right? Adoring the Lord. You can see, I'm elevating the host there. It's more just a fake thing. It's not really Mass. As soon as the Great Amen is over, right? The MC will lead the procession. Now, everyone is standing at this point to pray the Our Father. And so when everyone begins to stand to pray the Our Father, this is when you guys get up. And again, don't worry about it too much because the MC will help guide you guys. When you get over there, the MC or the senior server will help put the candles down. And he's already over there because he's in the spot. He was ringing bells over there. So the senior server doesn't go over there, just the 2 altar servers. Be same as always. You guys come up for communion just as you always do. And when the priest comes to you guys, he gives you the Eucharist. Sometimes Michael needs an exorcism there. When all the Eucharistic ministers go to distribute, you guys go down, and this is where you'll bring your candles back, okay, that you brought over. So the candles will be brought back around. So when we're down there distributing spot, communion kept in the back. You got the senior server and one of the altar servers now will come. One of them will be the altar server will be placing the water cruet on the altar while the senior server grabs the missal. So again, it's doing this at the same time. One step back, bow. So it's always taking one step back and then bow and turning together, just as we saw earlier. They walk together, turn 90 degrees. Now, Michael waits there, right? Everyone's waiting until, again, sitting down together. The senior server puts the missal back. When he gets back, you all sit down together, okay? Easy peasy, uniformity, makes things a lot cleaner and more reverent. Clearing the altar, right? After the priest and the deacon are done purifying, they will always keep the chalice in the middle and the water to the right. When they bow, this is when the 2 altar servers come together. Right, one will cross a little bit halfway, grabs the chalice, the water cruet, holding it with one hand, the other hand over the chest, bow together, gets to the end, turn together 90 degrees, and places it back. So right now we've got kind of people doing their own thing. Sometimes one person goes up and then wait a second, and the other person goes up, and it's kind of a big mess right now. So we're going to clean that up, and again, they sit down together. Closing prayer, same as always. The processional out will be a little bit different. So after the priest gives the blessing, you'll see the senior server, just as always, as you guys always do. Priest is picking up, singing the recessional hymn, and you guys will, right, light the candles, do your thing there. But instead of going down on the ramp, you'll wait there and be lined up, okay? And then as soon as the priest turns to reverence the altar, this is where you guys will process really the same path as you came up in the beginning of Mass. So the priest and deacon then will reverence the altar as you guys go down. Again, notice the 90-degree turning. So Michael should have waited there a little bit for Brandon, but we'll cut him some slack. Okay, and when we get there, we'll maybe sing a little bit, but as soon as the priest genuflects, again, the MC, since he's not carrying anything, he genuflects. You guys just bow your head. And when the priest turns, we've got the walking out, okay? So we don't want to do this. Michael's notorious for doing this. I give him a hard time. He does things like this. Just throws the missal on the table. He's sitting down at the chair, kind of like, hey, what's going on? I'm chilling out. Michael just gets restless a lot. He's leaning over his knees. He's twirling his cincture. He's just picking his nose. We don't want to do that, right? He's just kind of like, whoa, I'm tired. What's going on? Yawning back and forth. No, right? When eyes are on you guys, you got to realize eyes are on you in the sanctuary. And we want you guys to help lead people to a deeper spot of prayer. He's got ants in his pants there. You can see he's kicking his legs. And I don't know what's going on there. He fell asleep. So we want to just be really intentional and be more reverent, right? As you can see here, when we're standing, we got our hands folded. We're going to really kind of ask you guys to have your hands folded just like this, okay? We don't want any of this. We don't want swerving, right? Because when you do this, eyes are on you, and you're waving at mom. Hey, mom, dad, what's going on? No, right? It puts the attention on you guys, right? Here, like, see, he's doing exercises. He's getting his squats in, jumping jacks. We want the intention to be on the sacrifice of the Mass.
Okay, so when the priest does raise it, go ahead.
So we're going to ring bells differently as well. You can see it's going to be 3 times. So when the host is elevated, it's going to be ding, ding, ding. Well, you know what I'm saying. So as you can see, Michael, boom, 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 boom. Then pause, do it a second time, do it a third time. Pay attention. You'll see the difference 3 times ringing instead of just once. And the priest may hold it up there a little bit longer. That's okay. That's okay. Depending on the priest, he may want a little time for silence. He may not. So we also want to, instead of lighting the candles with those neon lighters, all right, we're going to have this thing over here in the back. And we're going to use this, as you can see what Michael's doing. He is holding his hand so it doesn't blow out because of the wind as he walks, kind of. And you guys will get used to using this, lighting the candles in a manner. You use both hands. You don't want to ever be doing this with one hand. So use 2 hands, lighting the candles before Mass. Again, this is why it's helpful, and we ask you guys to get to Mass early enough. Because if you're coming in last minute, we gotta be rushing. As he crosses through, he bows. Just a slight bow of the head, since again he's carrying something. Uh-oh, he almost lost it. That's okay. He just brings the wick up a little bit. Did he lose it? Did he lose it? Nope, it's still there. Okay. So if that happens, don't worry. If it does go out, you just go back and light it again. And you can see here, he's lighting the last 3. So, don't worry if it blows out on accident. You just go back and you light it again. Or you can just light it from another lit candle. That's probably a better idea. And then you'll notice to put it down, instead of blowing it out with your mouth,
Put the wick down.
when you're done, you can just pull that wick down. You'll see when you pull that wick down, it's a little, it goes out. Okay, so just the way Mike did it right there. And he bows then to the tabernacle because Mass is not going on. And he places that guy back.